In the far reaches of the Andrew sector, where colonies hung like lanterns against the dark tapestry of space, I never expected my medical skills to save an entire life, and perhaps an entire species. I was Dr. Elias Corwin, a human medic stationed aboard the freighter Celestial Dawn. My expertise wasn't in combat or diplomacy. I specialized in cybernetic medicine, the delicate blending of biology and technology, repairing bodies too fragile or too advanced for conventional medicine. Humans excelled at this, even when the patient wasn't human. The distress call. The day began like any other. Routine systems checks, minor injuries from maintenance crews, and the occasional quarrel among passengers. Then a faint, automated distress signal pinged on our sensors. It wasn't just any signal. It carried the unique biological signature of a Xylarian female. The Xylarians were a species rarely seen by humans, their physiology almost crystalline, their neural systems capable of interfacing with both technology and organic tissue simultaneously. Their biochemistry was complex, and they were fragile by human standards. Still, the signal indicated one was in dire condition, drifting in the wreckage of a collapsed orbital station near the rogue planet Dira. I felt the familiar adrenaline. "Prep the med bay," I instructed my assistant. "We're not just rescuing a patient. We're saving history." By the time we reached the station debris, I could see her through the fractured hull, a small, delicate frame caught in a twisted support beam, cybernetic implants sparking violently. Every second mattered. Her neural core was exposed, and her respiratory systems were failing. The rescue. I suited up and navigated through zero-gravity debris, carefully maneuvering to reach her. Her eyes, pale blue with faint silver streaks, opened weakly and focused on me. There was recognition there, or perhaps just desperation. "I'm human," I said, trying to reassure her despite the fact that she probably had never met a human before. "I'll fix you." She let out a soft, musical sound. I could almost hear it in my mind, a telepathic resonance. The Xylarians could communicate mentally under stress, a feature that made their healthcare simultaneously more intuitive and terrifyingly complex. I worked quickly, disengaging the damaged cybernetics. Sparks flew, and the station creaked ominously under its own failing structure. I patched her biological tissue while carefully rerouting neural connections. Time slowed as I balanced precision and speed. The wrong move could fry her brain or sever critical limbs. Finally, after what felt like an eternity but was only minutes, I stabilized her. She gasped, fully conscious for the first time, and her eyes seemed to shine brighter. The dilemma. Back aboard the Celestial Dawn, the medbay hummed with energy. She was alive, but her cybernetic systems had been partially destroyed. Xylarians could survive without full implants for a short time, but prolonged absence risked neural collapse. Essentially, she needed a complete cybernetic replacement, designed and integrated in situ, or she would die. The challenge was monumental. Human technology had never been fully compatible with Xylarian biology. One miscalculation, and I could easily convert her remaining neural connections into a permanent, irreversible failure. And she was just a girl, a child by Xylarian standards, though already biologically mature. "Elias," my assistant, Dr. Mara Jean, said softly, "you're talking about performing experimental cybernetic integration on an alien species. We don't have precedent. It's insane." "I know," I replied. "But if we don't, she dies. And if we succeed, humanity gains an ally unlike any other." HFY, the human's first ethos, wasn't about arrogance. It was about using human ingenuity and adaptability to survive and thrive where others would fail. This was one of those moments. The surgery begins. We sterilized the medbay, converting it into an improvised cybernetic operating theater. I scanned her neural lattice, overlaying human schematics with Xylarian architecture. The interface required both delicate mechanical hands and adaptive AI guidance. One wrong move, and she could lose her mind, or worse, her life. She looked at me, her eyes trembling, as if aware of the stakes. "I trust you," she said, her voice a musical whisper that resonated directly in my mind. I nodded. Then we began. Hours passed. I transplanted neural conduits, replaced damaged cortical processors, and calibrated energy nodes to match her unique bioelectric patterns. Every implant had to sync perfectly with her organic tissue, or the system would reject her instantly. During the procedure, the station's sensors detected a pirate fleet entering orbit, likely scavengers who had tracked the wreckage. Mara and I kept working, knowing there was no time for evacuation or retreat. The girl's life depended on our focus, our speed, and our calm under pressure. I had performed risky surgeries before, but never with the patient's very biology acting as both patient and interface. Each neural connection was like walking on a tightrope strung across a canyon. The wrong step could end everything. Human ingenuity versus alien technology. At a critical moment, one of the synthetic limbs began overloading, threatening to fry her nervous system. Without hesitation, I improvised a manual feedback loop, using my own exosuit to channel excess energy safely. The monitors blinked, the hum of the medbay escalated into a high-pitched resonance, and then silence. Her breathing stabilized. Her neural activity returned to normal. The cybernetic implants aligned seamlessly with her organic tissue. She opened her eyes. They glowed with a soft, steady blue, brighter than before. "Alive," she said, her mental voice filled with wonder. "You've saved me." I smiled wearily. "We did it together." Mara clapped me on the shoulder. "I didn't think it was possible," she admitted. "You actually pulled it off." Aftermath and gratitude. Once she recovered fully, the girl revealed her name, Liraya, and her gratitude went beyond words. She explained that she had been on a diplomatic mission, carrying critical information about the Xylarian fleet and their plans to stabilize war-torn sectors. Without her survival, that intelligence and possibly countless lives would have been lost. Her people, she explained, regarded humans as fragile and impulsive. But her perspective had changed. Humans could act decisively, creatively, and heroically. And in doing so, we had saved not just her life, but potentially billions of others. Vessels from her home system arrived days later, and they were astonished to find a human medic who had not only saved her life, but restored her fully to functionality. High-ranking Xylarians, scientists, and commanders all expressed disbelief and admiration. "We owe you a debt beyond reckoning," one elder said. "No human has ever attempted and succeeded at such a task." I shrugged. "I just did what anyone would do in my position." She smiled. "No, you did what no one else could." The Alliance. Over the following weeks, Liraya trained under my guidance and alongside Mara. Humans had a unique approach to problem-solving, she noted, and she quickly adapted. Together, we developed protocols for Xylarian-human cybernetic collaboration, bridging biology, technology, and ingenuity in ways that her species had never considered. By the time she was ready to return home, she had grown strong, wise, and capable beyond her years. And she remembered our promise. If humans were ever in need, she would stand beside us, not as a subordinate, but as an ally. This wasn't just a story about saving a life. It was about humans proving that courage, adaptability, and intellect could shine even in alien domains, earning trust and respect where others failed. The ending. As the Xylarian ship departed, Liraya turned to me, her eyes glowing brighter than ever. "You saved me," she said. "And in doing so, you have changed everything. Humanity will be remembered, not just for surviving, but for thriving, for reaching across the stars with courage and compassion." I watched as her vessel accelerated into the void, leaving a trail of soft, shimmering light. The medbay was quiet now, but the impact of our actions would echo across galaxies. Mara shook her head, smiling. "You know, Elias, humans don't always get the recognition they deserve. But today, we proved it. We can do the impossible." I nodded, exhausted but exhilarated.
Yes.
But it's not just about humans. It's about what we can accomplish when we care, when we act, when we refuse to turn away. That's what HFY means. For the first time, I realized something profound. Humanity wasn't just fragile creatures struggling to survive in a vast cosmos. We could save lives, shape futures, and bridge worlds. All it took was courage, ingenuity, and the willingness to act when no one else would. As the stars stretched before us, endless and shimmering, I knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had a chance to rise, and we had just proven we were ready.